No niin. Ja täällä formulat jatkuu. No niin. Kyllä mä mennäs... Vedetään vähän vielä tarinaa ja... Katsotaan jos vedetään rankediin vaikka sen jälkeen, niin... Vähän tatsia peliä. Kaavinen, moro. Joo, vähän pitää tatsia hakea. Oli eilinen aikamoista sähellystä. Chapter 4 hardi. Tätä ei saa vaihettua mitenkään. Onkohan tässä muuten joku trophy tässä pelissä? Vitsi nää äänet tässä. Mitä? Oliko hyvää kanapeli? Pelasit kuitenkin reilu 3 tuntia. Mä en tiedä näit se otsikon muutoksen siinä, mutta sehän pelattiin läpi siinä, että... Läpi tuli vedettyä ja... Odota, nopea pitää lukea näitä vastaan ihan just. Joo, siinä jossain vaiheessa me alettiin vähän ehkä silleen vetää silleen fast forwardia, koska ne vähän jaaritteli liikaa semmoista ihan ilmiselvää settiä. Kyllä siis pari kertaa oli silleen, että okei, mitäköhän vittu, mut siis niinku kyllä siinä tarinassa pysyi kärryllä koko aikasi. Niin joo, poissu saman tien kovolta, että ainoa mikä siinä oli, niin siinä kai oli tommonen secret endingi, joka mä en kai siitä lukenut, että miten se saa, mut sit niinku secret ending oli 5 sekkaa pidempi klippi. En nyt mene spoilaa, mutta... Tai niinku, en tiedä, katsoit sen loppuun se. Niin sai 4/5 siellä. Itähän taisin antaa 5/10 ehkä, mut varmaan niinku ehkä toi 5 asteikko on vähän paha. En mä nyt sanois, että se 2/5 peli oli, että se oli 3/5. Mut ei se kyllä mikään 4/5 peli sit ollu. Konstamoro. Mut joo, oli siis... Ja jos tykkäis tommosista niinku lanoire-tyylisistä... Ei lanoire, vaan noire-tyylisistä peleistä, niin sit... Joo, ehkä se menee. Niinku vähän... Ei ollut oikein mun tyylinen peli. Vaikka mä tykkäsin niinku pelaa sitä, olin vähän messissä. Ja sit niinku mä oon kans... Noihan tommoset niinku... Mitkä on silloin meidän lapsuudessa ollut semmonen niinku point and click tyylistä pelaamista. Niin se tuli vähän niinku sekin mieleen siihen. Mut sit taas niinku se tarina oli vähän... Oho. Joo, hei Konsta, moro. Tires gone. Mono, tires gone.
Copy.
Oho, kato, se on puhki se rengas. No, kaasua. Vittu mikä... Ihan puhki. Tuleeks penalti? Oli mulla varmaan pittaisesti. Krista, morjes. Pit and replace your tires. Mulle ei kuulunuthan... Mulle ei kuulunut. Varmaan äänet niin kovaltas.
Exit now.
Finish in the points, 10th or above. Pleikka vitosella on erilainen aidompi rengasarikkoanimaatio. Joo, vitsi. Mä laitoin nyt vihdoinkin ilmoitukset päälle tosta, että milloin tulee Pleikka vitosta myyntiin. Niin pari kertaa tullut tonne jonnekin Prisman verkkosivuille, mut en oo kerennyt. Siellä mä katoinkin konsolifini foorumeja, niin joku oli siellä onnistunut saamaan Pleikan sen sivuston avulla. PlayStation 5 Suomessa piste, onko se joku? En me nyt mainosta enempää, kun muuten mun Pleikat viedään. Mun mielestä se on kauhea understeer verrattuna edelliseen formulaan. Joo, en mäkään tos 3 viestiä sieltä on tullut, mutta ne on niinku samana päivänä tullut. Ihan kiva tietää, että miten noi varastot sit kans päivittyy, että onks tuleeks ne keskiyöllä vai milloin, niin ainakin oliko se Prisma vai mikä se oli, niin vähän 10 jälkeen aamulla tuli. Joo, ja pitää olla ihan saatanan nopea, jos se nyt haluu sen playka. Siinä mentiin vähän oikoreittiin, mut kyllä tässä vähän saa kusettaa tässä, kun tää on aika vaikea tää Breaking Pointin peli. Oho. Niin ja sit vielä tuuria kans siihen vähän. Joo, missäköhän se raivali on? Tässä ei oo niin pahat nää kanttareet, kun tossa... Oi helvetti! Ei oo niin pahat kanttareet, kun tossa mikä toi oli toi? Niin, Belgiassa.
Okay, you're creating some breathing space between you and the car behind
Joo,
by
se...
a few seconds per lap.
Olikohan se joku ekoist niistä, niin se vaikutti ihan helpolle ja mä olisin okei easy, mut sit niinku se kiina oli kyllä tosi paha. Vähän tolleen noin. Finishing the points. Niin mitä vittu mun pitää 10 päästä? Pitääkö Hamiltonit? Oho.
Okay, you're catching the car ahead.
Mä en oo kattonut noita harjoituksia niin paljon. Mä sanon Bottas. Mä luotan Bottakseen tänään. Hamilton on 3.
We have 5 laps of fuel remaining.
4 sekkaa vielä Butleriin. Voi vittu, 3 kiekkaa jäljellä. Ei saa tolleen käydä. Kävi kuitenkin samalla, no antaa mennä. Ei käänny. En mä saa yhtään kiinni noita. No melkein sekunnilla. Oho, meni kutoselle vahingossa. Joo. Pitää koittaa ajaa niin kovaa kun pystyy. Jos tulee tommosia pikkuspinnejä kun kaasu pohjas, niin sit niitä tulee. Flashbackia vaan. Tänään pitää olla huomen varovainen sit siellä Belgiassa, kun ei oo flashbackkää, niin voi käydä huonosti. Moro contenderi. Jaha, kaksutta ja karhu perkele.
There's 3 laps of fuel
Saimme
remaining.
derssi, nice. Okei, Konsta. Eiks toi Butler jo siinä edellisessäkin formulassa? Se niinku pahis. Mun mielestä se on tässä ihan niinku... Ei se oo niin paha kuin se edellisessä, tää mä vielä tiedä. Kyllä se eka chapteri oli aika vittumainen. Vai toka?
Good job, nice overtake.
Joo, toi on muuten jännä miten noi laskee noi tiimit se bensa aika tarkalleen oikein. Aha, vittu sieltä tuli jää. Kyllähän nyt silleen tietää, kun yhden kiekan vetää kaasupohjassa, niin ne pystyy siitä, no joo ei ehkä ihan yhtä kiekkaa, mutta vaikka joku 5 kiekkaa, niin ne pystyy siitä laskemaan sen keskimääräisen ja kertoo sen vaan ja sitten ottaa parille kiekalle lisää bensaa. Sitten jos bensa menee loppuun, niin kuskithan vaan vähän säästelee bensaa, ettei pistä ihan kaasupohjassa. Pikakiekka onko? Pitää mennä ohi.
This is your final lap of the race. We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
2 kiekalle bensaa ja tää on vikakiekkainen. Se oli vähän karu ohitus. Anteeksi. Seikälä jyrättiin. Vähän Tokioa vielä tohon. Oho, nyt tulee kova. Ei! Ei! Sitten kauhea blokki tähän. Sillä oli kersit ja ersit ja dersit.
That's it for another Grand Prix and
Another Grand Prix!
so after a magnificent race.
Ei noin hirveästi oo kyllä selostanut mitään tästä meidän päähenkilöstä, kun nämä kisat loppuu. Et noin vois skippaa aika huoletta. Välillä vaan sanoo, että ai pahan kolari. Great teamwork, okei. Okay. No, seuraava chapteri sitten. Italian Grand Prix several weeks later.
I'm not sure if it's something to do with the energy storage, but I'm losing power on the straights.
Right.
Right.
You said the acceleration was okay. I'll take a look at it.
And how are we today, chaps? Everything running smoothly, I hope.
Nope.
All right, Brian. Yeah, we're just going through a few last-minute tweaks.
Ah, that's what I like to see. With dedication like that, maybe you'll be able to get us back a few more of those points, eh?
Yeah, I'll try.
Actually, Aidan, I'm glad I've caught up with you. Thought you might like to know. I had a call this morning from Mattia Binotto. Mentioned you directly.
Mitä?
Oh.
I think they're sniffing around for next season. You're being watched.
So, no pressure then?
So, what's the problem with the car?
I'm losing power on the straights. It's not a massive issue. I'm sure we can deal with it.
Yeah, theoretically, do we have time to install the Spec 2 unit before the race?
Yes, boss.
And Casper's reporting no problems?
No.
Okay, let's do it. Put the Spec 2 in Aiden's, would you?
Well, that would sort it. I mean, if you're sure.
Of course. You could do with a little boost. A little boost. Besides, anything for our star driver.
Oho. Huh?
Casper, how are you today? Feeling good about the race?
Ai vit. Kyllä kova. Tosiaan hauska tää niinku tarina. Sehän meni jo hyvin. Anything for our star driver. Oho, Kasperi, sä olit siinä. En mä tiedä, ei se varmaan kuullut, mutta vai kuuliko? Ei siinä oikein näytetty, että kuuliko se. Se vaan oli silleen moro ja lähti. Et eikö noitten suhde nyt muutenkin ollut vähän heikompi laatuinen? Kivat muuten spölyndeerot tässä. Italian Grand Prix Race Day! It's a race day! Ei, onks tää koko kisa?
Right, let's see if we can squeeze some performance out of this new power unit. Good luck out there today.
Monza! Joo, pitiköhän tää race strategy kattoo? Ei varmaan. Beat Ackerman. Ackerman 4. Miten Ackermani on 4? Oliks tää nyt ranked vai mitä helvettiä? Kyllä. Nipeni Downforce lähti sutiin noin pahasta lähtö. Koitais tämmöstä vanha-aikasta. Oi, noin vanha-aikasta. Sehän oli ihan hauska. Koetaan vielä. Ei vitsi kun oli renkaat nurtsille. Hei tolleenhan toi menee. Sori mä vähän pelleilen, mutta en pahasti. Tolleen niinku jokainen... Oho! Tolleen niinku jokainen pelaa, ketä pelaa F1 multiplayeria.
Casper should be within reach soon, Aiden. You are free to race.
Oho, sieltä tuli semmonen kolari. Mitä? Siis ihan sairas downforce tässä, ei yhtään pitoa takana. Taas toi jarru. Meneekö ne oikeesti lukkoon? Mun pitää varmaan laittaa tuo assisti päälle, ettei mene jarrut lukkoon. Mä katsoin niitä time trial juttuja, niin melkein kaikilla on päällä se apsi. Ihan sairas, miten toi menee tolleen toi? Kun mä nyt näen tota mun jarru systeemiä. Meneekö se ihan pohjaa saakka tossa kun painaa? Menee.
Gap to teammate ahead is 2.4 seconds. They're on fresh softs. They're in fourth.
Mä haluaisin, että tässä kisankin aikana tulisi jotain semmosia scripted eventtejä. Just semmosia, että vaikka joku kolaroi tosta, tulee safety-auto, rengas puhkee. Siis, no menee oikeesti lukkoon nuo renkaat tuo takana. Koetais tämmöstä. Mä veikkaan, että se on vaan tosta, ne menee takarenkaat lukkoon, niin se lähtee saman tien. Mut tää ei oo kyllä, en tykkää, tää ei oo aitoosi. Joo, nyt ne ei mennyt yhtään ne on mennyt aikaisemmin lukkoon nuo renkaat. En mä sitä kuullutkaan, että ne menee lukkoon, mutta mä aina ihmetellyt, miten toi takapää heittää niin pahasti. Se on toi front brake piassi ja noin, niin kyllähän se nyt lähtee. Mennään nyt ykköseksi.
Brilliant. Nice move.
Tässä ei muuten varmaan tuu turva-autoa.
Okay, DRS is now available.
Oho. Mitä Ei saatana, otetaan uusiksi. Toi oli siistin näköinen. Mikä juttu tässä on, kun noi takarenkaat? Tuntuu, että on ihan ilmassa. Oho. No sehän meni hyvin. Kuka ei suuttunut edes, eikä tullut penaltiin. Auto kunnossa. Se kapottakseen, onnistuisko? Eipä näköjään. Kymmenen vuotta, nehän on 3. Jos ne asuu siellä Redin vieressä. Ja joo. Perkele, okei nyt ajetaan silleen. En mä kaada 3. Ihan sairassa tää peli niinku. Ihan ilmassa noin renkaat. Koko aika. No se on kyllä totta. Siis noin renkaat on ilmas koko aika. Hovercrafti.
Gap to teammate behind is 2.1 seconds. They're on fresh softs. They're in sick. The time last lap was a 1 minute 24.9.
Kylkonsta. On kyllä vaikeeta. Pitää vaan ajaa hitaammin siinä. Kuitenkin 50% kisa, niin no heroics. No hero. No heroics. Kyllä sai taas sekunnilkin. Mikäköhän pitstop strategy tässä on? 7 kiakoa. Jos menis 6 varikolle, niin...
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums.
Okei, Konsta, hyvä tietää. Tiedätkö mikä mua harmittaa tässä pelissä? Ei oo Japan shortteja. Ja niinku muutenkin ratoi on ihan helvetisti vähemmän. Onks ne tulos tähän peliin ees? Siis mä ymmärrän, sulla on jotkut radat tehtynä, sit saatat ne pois seuraavasta pelistä. Silleen miksi? Niin Imola ja Portimaa tulee, mut ei mua ne kiinnosta. No kiinnostaa aika paljon Imola varsinkin. Mun niinku...
Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap.
Mun mielestä olisi paljon parempi. Tai niinku... Siis jo noikin sais tulla, mut sit niinku ne... Japan sortti, se on ihan mun lemppari. Se on ihan lemppari. Mä en tiedä mikä juttu on. Onko joku lisenssikysymys? Ei kai. Niin se on kahvinen tulos, mut sit jännä, et miten ei saatana saanut Imolaa jo niinku tähän julkaisuun. Kun se oli kuitenkin viime kauna jo niinku listalla. Miten voi olla niin vaikea tehdä yksi rata? Ei tämmösen radan tekemis me kauaa. Niin totta kai siinä menee jonkun... Niinku ei suhteellisen kauan pitäis mennä siinä. Et saa esim. Saat asfaltin tähän oikein. Ja noikin löytyy kaikki nuo radat löytyy, ne on laser-trackätty noihin johonkin muihin simupeleihin, niin ihan hyvin ne vois vaikka... Vittu luulis, että on rahaa ostaa semmoset niinku valmiit paketit jostain. Taihan vaan luulis, että Formulallekin löytyisi joku 3D-mallinnus tosta niinku, tai Fialta niinku siis. Et ei tarttis hirveesti niinku työskennellä.
A new strategy is available on the MFD. Copy.
Oli mulla pittaasisti. Aika jännä taktiikka, nää vetää niinku enemmän kiekkoja softeilla kuin mediumeilla. Se on niinku mitenkään järkevää.
Look after these tires now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
Oho, mikä blokki. Sillä oli ihan... No melkein oikeus sulkea se.
You've taken P16, P16.
Onko se Bottas tossa edes ne? Vitsi toi undercutti on kyllä hyvä.
Okay, the gap behind is 6.7 seconds.
Eli siinä on kyllä tehokasta, jos osaa vetää undercutin hyvin, niin... Nyt mennään ohi.
Casper is in the pits. Casper in the pits.
Ei, meni vähän pitkäksi.
Albin ahead. Gap to car in front is 3.1
Kyllä vetää vielä
seconds.
softeilla. Mitä?
They're on old softs. Their tyres are 8 laps old. We think they've got one more stop.
Mikä tää
The time
näette
last lap was a
pysähdystaktiikka oikein
1:25.5.
tässä on?
The gap to the car ahead is 3.0 seconds.
No toikin on muuten kiva, että noi kaikki botit ei vedä tätä samaa strategiaa. Tuohi. Missä on se Dersi-alue? Hamilton ekana. Ja mitä helvettiä haarteella ajaa? Ei saa yhtään Hamiltoniakin.
There's 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Tääkin oli nyt aika helppo, mut se on varmaan aika lailla sit lähdönkin syytä. Varmaan aika paljon johtuu siitä.
Come on, you can win that place back.
Mulla on Derssikin nyt kai.
We're leading our teammate by 25.0 seconds.
Joo, se on vaikee. Ja se on kapea rata. Tää tullu. Ei si. Nyt joutuu Verstappen ja Bottas vähän taistella siellä. Oho, nyt tulee muuten kova.
This is your final lap of the race. There's 3 laps of fuel remaining.
Oho. Aina Sudersi enää. Nonne.
All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Well, quite the rivalry forming between the rookie Aiden Jackson and his veteran teammate Casper Ackerman.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of when Hamilton signed from McLaren back in 2007. And we all know how that one ended. Alonso returned to Renault pretty much the moment the season wrapped up.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that. After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team.
Mercedes team, mitä tää selittää? Mä oon ekaa kertaa palkintopallille, kukaan ei noteeraa. Mitä helvettiä?
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. So, a podium finish. The team must be overjoyed with your driving today. Can you talk us through it, Aiden?
I'm really happy and I came in ahead of Casper.
I mean, it's the podium. What more could you want? Everything seemed to come together today. Great pace, good team strategy, and I managed to extract some good performance from the car.
Tää on hauska, että näissä on
Couldn't be
äänitetty
happier.
nää
A big
puheet.
talking point, irrespective of today's results, is how you've improved overall throughout the season. What would you say to that?
I couldn't do it without the support of the team. They've been incredible. I'm feeling looked after, and I couldn't ask for more. So any improvements are thanks to them.
It's funny you should mention the team as a whole. Can you give us an update? How is the current relationship between you and Casper Ackerman?
Look,
Kyllä, we're
driving
fine.
relationships
Kyllä tää
are
pitää
always gonna be
kulissi
tricky.
yllä.
Individually, you're always pushing yourselves, and that can cause friction. I can't let anything like that worry me. Besides, we're fine.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time. Seuraava chapter on hyvä, joo. Tääkin oli ihan hauska tää. Ferrari juttelee siellä ja sit tallipäällikkö antaa vähän suosio selän takana. soittaa.
Mum?
Aiden, I'm here.
Oh, good. After that flight delay, I was...
Toi mutsi on niin vitun kauheen kuulonen tossa, niin ei vaan pysty kuunnella noita. Ei se varmaan mitään tärkeää tee sano. Mitäks Bottaksella synttärit tänään? Jep, Konsta. Ei pysty käsittämään miten on noin ärsyttävä. Aha, siis mennään. Mikä tää oli? Mexico!
How's it feeling out there, Aiden?
Yeah, good. I think we can start to push a little. Where's Casper?
Pidetään aina Kasperin takana.
Just improve your current position.
Yeah, copy.
Catch up before lap save. Ennen kisan päättymistä 7 sekkaa kiinni. Unohtu käyttää derssiä.
Check your...
Perse saatana, miksi tää... Siis mun pitää pulttaa tää saatana tuoli tähänkin. Ja kohta toi aurinko tulee tuolta, niin mä kyllä saatana lyön sitä aurinkoa.
Casper sat in P8. Okay, you're catching the car ahead, but remember we need to get to the end of the race on these tyres.
Bottas 10. Mitä onks tossakin derssi nykyään?
Casper is 3 places ahead of you right now.
No nyt testaa derssiä muka. Meneepä hitaasti, kun ei mitään apui tossa. Ei vieläkään.
Casper sat in P8. top 10 now. Keep it up.
Yksi prossa erssi, 0 nonne.
Casper is a couple of places up on you.
Oho! Sadetta Belgiassa, noni. Kova, kova.
It's clear from anyone watching either in the stands or at home the determination on show from Alfa Romeo and Aiden Jackson today.
No, you're not wrong there, Ant. His performance has improved race by race throughout the season, and his driving today, impeccable. Here's a test for him now, though, as they head down the main straight. There's a lot of friction between these two, and his teammates after him. Will he budge?
Pole position, Aiden.
Oh, I've never seen anything like this on a racetrack before. Two teammates wheel to wheel.
Keep it clean.
Inches separating them and they crash. Oh, they've come together in spectacular style, and they're both out of the race.
Siis se Kasperi saatana vaan iski se seinää. Tuo oli aika paha. Meneekö lyömään? Meneekö lyömään? Onks tää meidän... Onks tää Kasperi? Ei kun kumpi tää on? En oo kattonut autoa. Onks se meidän tyyppi vai Kasperi? Korona taas joku yskäs. Meidän tyyppi. Aiden, joo.
Close the door. Sit down. What the hell was going on out there? We've invested millions in you two. Millions. And look at you both. Acting like a couple of school kids. You've got a lot to prove this year, boy. And you're swanning around like butter wouldn't melt. And as for you, you should know better. I'm disgusted. You should both be ashamed.
Brian,
not a single word. I should fire you both right here and now. You've screwed our chances this season. The team is bigger than you two and your petty squabbles. Grow up! Any more, and you're both out. Do you hear me? I'll finish the season behind the wheel myself if I have to. Both of you, get out.
Get out. Mut sehän oli ihan nyt vittu Kasperin vika. Mitä helvettiä? Lyö, perkele. Mitäs nyt?
Go away.
Hey.
Hey.
So, what did he say?
Threatened to fire both of us.
He won't.
That's not the
He
point.
won't.
I'll just leave you be.
Is Lily okay? Does she know I'm safe?
Yeah, she saw you climb out. She's fine. I left her with your mother.
Okay, good.
You've survived worse, you know?
Doesn't make it any easier.
Maybe not, but you're not hurt. And you have a family who'll love you. The rest are just details. I'll see you later.
Ei tässä ollut mitään. News, Jackson and Ackerman take each other out. Collision. This marks the lowest point for the Swiss-based outfit in a season that's been blah blah blah. Joo, se oli Kasperi vaan. Joo, sain semmoisen ymmärryksen. Eka mä olin silleen, mikä... Sitten kun se puhui just jostain mutsista, niin... Ymmärsi siinä, joo. Australian Grand Prix Q3.
Here we are then, another season of Formula One racing is upon us. Some teams confident following pre-season, whilst others still looking...
Pikku hetki. Niin tässä on nää trofit tohon näköjään.
But Alfa Romeo still hopeful that the youngster can secure a decent position. Let's see how he gets on here. Teammate Casper Ackerman didn't make it through to Q3, narrowly missing out by just
13 milliseconds. You did all you could. If I went out second today, I would have those 13 milliseconds back, no problem. Why do they keep sending me out first? 11th isn't the end of the world, Casper. You'll make those places back. Yeah, for sure. Shouldn't have to.
Vähän vihaane. Australian Grand Prix. Hei, onks tää uusi kausi jo? With 10 cents from last year, looking set to blah blah blah, Kasper Aikenman push. Joo. Mä katsoin, tuli Austrian, en tiedä miksi mä katsoin silleen. Ehkä sen takia kun siinä on Austr molemmissa. Nyt ei kyllä terveen kuulonen auto.
Understood, Casper. We're on it.
It's the gearbox. I lost the gear.
Push on, Casper. We're assessing. Just push on best you can.
Tää.
That's right.
Miks mun pitää olla Kasperilla? Aha, 7 kadonnut.
Okay, bad news on the gearbox. The team are trying everything they can think of, but they're not optimistic. Just keep at it, do your best, that's all we can ask.
Joo, nyt pelataan Kasperilla, okei. Tarvittais vois tehdä mitään tässä niinku? Siis pitää vaan ajaa maaliin, miksi? Mikä juttu?
We have 5 laps of fuel.
Ai en mä muista nimen Draamamutka.
Our gap to the car in front is 1.7 seconds.
Gearboxin paskana vaikka saatana eka kisa.
There's 4 laps of fuel remaining.
Siihen pääsi hyvin. Mennään vielä Jacksoninkin ohi. Ei herranjestas.
Okay, you're in the top 10.
Oh, jumalauta! Haha.
Okay, gap ahead is 7.0 seconds.
Onks nuo botit vaan niin hitaita tässä seuraavassa mutkassa, että sen takia saa kiinni niin paljon? Mä kyllä vähän oion tässä aina, mut... Enpä tiedä, ei se kyllä tosti oo. Ois kiva olla semmonen joku trackeri, mistä näkee, missä noi botit oikeastaan jää kovempaa kuin ite.
We've only got 2 laps of fuel left. This is your final lap of the race.
Kahdelle kiekalle bensaa ja vikaa kiekka. Mä en tykkää yhtään tästä hoodista tässä niinku... Ihan kauheen näköinen. Oi vi... Niinku... toi niinku mistä tuo erssimittari on ja sit niinku sen lukeminen on ihan helvetin vaikeet. Toi on ihan hyvät noi vaihteet ja nopeus on tossa keskellä, mut niinhän porukka vaihtoi siinä jo edellisessä pelissä ne tohon, ei sillä ole mitään merkitystä.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
A great race then, and a fantastic victory here at Albert Park. Well, what's happened there to Casper Ackerman? Still managed to finish, but that's got to be frustrating, Ant.
Yeah, looks like maybe it was a gearbox fault, which is always a blow for the driver. Ackerman won't be happy, but I'd say he's done very well in the circumstances.
Well, this isn't the start he would have wanted after last season. Let's hope things pick up for him. Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be proud of the victory they secured here.
Bad luck out there today. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Not a great race out there for you today, Casper.
Mitä
Can you
vittua?
talk us through what happened?
Well, it was clearly an issue with the gearbox. Not a great place to be as a driver, but we'll work on it, I'm sure.
Well, despite obvious vehicle difficulty, you still managed to finish. How hard is it to bring it over the line when facing such issues?
Well, this is where experience comes in. You just have to switch off. Be mindful, but try and ignore what is going on around you. To concentrate only on the problem at hand, and hope for the best.
While it's an unfortunate start to this season, last season was muddied by a tense relationship with your teammate. How are things now with you and Aiden?
That was last season. It's no secret that Aiden and I had a few run-ins. But that's the risk when you put two drivers together for the first time.
Hollannin
I
Kimi.
don't like to look back, only forward. I'm sure he's learned a lot and we'll see what happens
Puhuu
this
ihan
season.
liikaa. Ei tätä voi sanoa.
Appreciate your time.
Problems for car. Ackermani. Paljon seuraajia? 1,2 miljoonaa. Löytyyköhän täältä jotain törkyä täältä sähköpostista? Niin kuin. Meksiko. Okay. Bahrain mid race.
losing grip.
Understood. Can you box next lap, Casper? Box next lap.
No, I need to come in now. It's quite bad.
We've got Aiden coming in now. Just hold out one more lap, please, Casper.
Isn't he a lap down?
Yes, he's on a different strategy though.
Haven't I got priority?
He's boxing now. Please hold off, Casper.
Tää menee kans varikolle. Ai saatana.
No, I'm all over the place here. I'm coming in now.
Double stack!
Must have been pretty urgent for Aiden, huh?
Please be patient, Casper.
There goes another place. And another. Okay, let's go, let's go.
Joo kans, moro. Mäkin voisin varmaan laittaa sivusilmalle noin.
Okay, that wasn't ideal. Let's see if you can get a few places back, please, Casper.
Come on in.
Mitä vittua tää?
There's a huge amount of time to be won and lost in the pits, but ensure that you don't get too greedy as you approach the pit lane speed limit line. On the
8. Ei saada mun pakalatta ne formulat kans päälle. Sportsi. Joo. Ei toimi, mitä vittua, häh? Jossa toi kanssa. Mitä helvettiä, ei tää niinku... No, Sport Search down. It seems you have adblock. Vittu, fuck you. Tää mitään mainoksia kato.
Because you haven't set any yet and others have.
Yeah, especially if somebody piles it in the wall and you suddenly get a red flag halfway around your hot lap. So, but why not
Q1 alkoi.
Some other cars if you're confident in your
For this weekend for Max Verstappen, a lot
Helvetti, helvetti. Se on niinku märäkelirenkaat sitten välikelirenkaat. Oh, mitäs siellä kävi? Ei mitään. Otas vähän ääntä.
But they also go off very quickly. They overheat very quickly. So if the intermediate can cope with the track in standing water, then it will always be the right choice. Soaring away with the steering wheel, making plenty of corrections on that shot. He put in 30.9 first sector. Amanda Norris on white tyre for 35.2.
As well, so that choice on the intermediate tyres for a very small sample of holes, it seems to be the right choice out there. In the first sector, Gasly, for instance, in the AlphaTauri, 35.5 already.
Nice work, that brings you up a place.
No, joku pyörähti. Oliko Matse? Williams joku. Latifi.
There's 5 laps of fuel remaining. You're in the top 10 now. Keep it up.
Mitä vittua, Jackson? Tässä jo taas tapahtuu. On vähän liukasta näköjään. Maaliin vaan nyt. Oho, Russeli vetää päässäs läpi. Interrail vedettiin nopea aika.
There's 3 laps of fuel remaining. gap to car in front is 8.8 seconds.
No ABS, no driver aids like that at all. So it's all about you and the throttle pedal.
How much can you push down on that throttle pedal now? How much do you dare to push down in these conditions? It's getting very busy in the pit, as you can see. Not just Sergio Perez has been called in to the pits. Pretty much everyone on those wet tyres will want to be changing those two intermediates. Still huge amount of spray. That's Esteban Ocon, our race winner from Hungary last time out. Only 5 years ago, brought into the paddock here in Spa as a Formula 1 racing driver.
Kuukausi 10 päivää Massepinin viimeisestä pyörähdyksestä. Ei ollut muuten paha toi kanttare tossa. No nyt se on 2 kuukautta viimeisestä pyörähdyksestä, vaan niin pitkä aika.
This is your final lap of the race.
Aika jännä siellä porukka niinku ihan molemmat renkaat käytössä ja märkää ja välikelirengasta. Meillä on muuten hyvät välivideot taas tässä. No ei tossa oikein ollut mitään muuta. Pakko se oli mennä varikolle. Se olisi menettänyt joku varmaan 5 sekkaa siinä, kun se olisi ajanut. Nyt se menetti vaan pari, kun se kävi. Plus sit se, että se niinku pääsi undercuttaa itteensä, niin... En tiedä, ainakin nopealta näytti se pysähdys siinä. Ei siinä oikein ollut mitään muuta. Mut niinku... Aika jännä, että vittu Aideni ei voinut saatana olla yhtäkkiä pidempään siellä. Ne on meni strategian pilalle.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
An interesting little encounter between Ackerman and Jackson in the pit lane. And might that cause more friction behind the scenes?
Ackerman sounded pretty angry on the radio, didn't he? Told to box the next lap, but he came in anyway. That's not the decision of a man thinking clearly. Is he bringing his personal grievances onto the track?
Mitä vittu, sillä on renkaat ihan paskana.
A significant number of points last season, and if today's anything to go by, those...
It looks like to continue.
Mercedes are on top form once again.
So that was an exciting race from our perspective. Let's have yours. Congratulations on a tough race today, Casper. To all of us watching, it seemed as if there was some sort of clash in pitting strategy. Can you talk us through it?
No, team, sorry.
The team strategy was wrong, so I called it. I had to. Sometimes when you're the one behind the wheel, you've got to call the shots. I felt the tires begin to go off and realized I needed to come in. The team may disagree, but I pulled it back, so we'll see.
So the problem we all witnessed today was a team call, and not a sign of continuing tensions again this season between you and Aiden Jackson.
No, everything's fine. Today was just an issue with two competing strategies that caused an unfortunate clash. Yeah, Aiden and I had our problems last season, but that was then. This is now. Why do you ask?
Well, you seemed angry on the radio with your team. People are asking if that's an indicator of a deeper issue behind the scenes. What would you say to that?
Well, there's nothing to be concerned about. It's just adrenaline. You're in the middle of a race, you get hot. I can't even remember what I said. If it was, you know, colorful, then I'm sure we'll all be laughing about it later.
Great. Well, that's everything.
I just don't get it, Zoe. He gets to pit ahead of me. And they give his car the only new power unit last season. And he gets to go out behind me in qualifying. This kid is a new #1 driver.
I don't believe that to be true.
But then why does he get paid more?
You're still upset about that.
No. But I don't know, maybe. I just wish I never found out.
It's not the money, though, is it?
I'm old.
You're not old.
Like this again. I am old. For a driver, I'm old.
Come on, this is your last season. You said you'd make it count.
I still need to tell them.
Will you?
Soon.
Okay. Huh? Well, in the meantime, forget about Jackson.
Okay.
And stop playing the victim. It doesn't suit you.
All right, okay.
It's Zandvoort next, remember? Everyone's gonna be rooting for you. Be the guy they love. And hey.
What?
Be the guy I love.
Be the guy I love.
Did you come up with that yourself?
I'm a natural-born charmer.
Verstappen's got nothing on me.
You had to ruin it.
Viisi revardia. Niin tää vaan menee tää podium päästä tälle eteenpäin, okei. Okay. Call history. Mitäs nää sano? Please don't badmouth team in front of the press. Fuck that shit, vittu.
The middle sector, much better, 7/10 better than it was last time.
Yeah, Bottas now has done a representative time, I think, but it's so hard to get off the brake pedal when the car's not slowing down well enough. You want to brake more, but you've got to just, as exactly as Lewis did, cadence braking, and off you go, and you can, as long as you
get off the brake pedal,
it will go in, you just don't know that always.
Sebastian Vettel jumps from last to 10th. That pushes Daniel Ricciardo down to 14th. I mentioned Ricciardo. He's going through Stavro at the moment. He might not get another lap in before the checkered flag. So this lap for Daniel Ricciardo could be absolutely crucial. He's got quite a way to go to reach the line. And if he doesn't reach the line before the checkered flag comes out, then he won't get the chance to do another lap. As Leclerc goes 8th fastest and Lando Norris fastest in the first sector. Max Verstappen fastest in the middle sector.
Yeah. Ricciardo's middle sector is not that quick on a 56.1. That's a couple of seconds shy.
He's not reached the flag. This is the last lap of qualifying for Daniel Ricciardo, who's the driver very much at risk and only goes 12th fastest. So if Alonso, Stroll, Ocon and any one of the bottom 5 can improve, then Ricciardo could find himself knocked out in Q1 as Verstappen goes quickest. He has certainly got the pace here, as has Lando Norris, Ricciardo's teammate, who now goes quickest by 4/10.
It's a secret.
Okay. Well, maybe you'll show it to me later.
Norris is really at home in these conditions.
Today, Daddy?
Like a typical
I hope so,
British
Liz.
Racing weekend, isn't it?
Can I ask you a question?
Brits and Japanese drivers tend to be
Who's your
extremely good.
favorite racing driver?
You are.
Yeah, just checking. Can I speak to Mommy now?
No.
Okay.
Bye, Daddy.
Bye, Lily.
Mitä aikamoinen muksu.
In wet condition, but Tsunoda.
Ketä saatana striimi toimi?
He wanted, he goes 6th fastest overall. So, on board
Räikkönen saatana vika.
Perez, who's still got to complete his lap, and there's quite a few cars still out on the track. Perez goes 4th fastest, but none of them now really need to complete any laps if they were on a flyer, as Stroll goes 13th fastest, and we have lost Nikita Mazepin, Kimi Raikkonen, Mick Schumacher, Yuki Tsunoda and Antonio Giovinazzi.
Yeah, Alpine, Alonso and Ocon just squeezing through there, but what are we going to see? So Tsunoda then a massive front left lock-up, so he misses, Gasly, Pierre Gasly there, misses the turn-in point, but still gets through the chicane.
And Lewis Hamilton did exactly the same thing, locking up into the bus stop chicane, but he made his way through, and Hamilton 3rd fastest after that first Q1 session. We lost Mazepin, Raikkonen, Schumacher, Tsunoda and Giovinazzi, 15 remain.
Hyvä lokappia, silti onnistuu. Mainoksia perkele.
It's time to go racing once again here at Zandvoort as we get underway for the Dutch Grand Prix.
Taas koko kisa. Pitääkin muuten katsoa vähän kelloa.
Today, Cass. Let's use that momentum and see what you can do out there.
Tänään on lauantai. Joo. Okei, kyllä meillä on ainakin yhden kisan penä. 9 ja 9. Ei tossa oo mitään järkeä. Eiks taas kaikkein nopein tälleen? 8 ja 10. Tääkin on nopeampi, pitää lähteä softeella liikkeelle. Kyllä mä sanon, että mä teen tälleen. Tuo on niin nopea toi undercutti siinä se. Finish on podium. Tai sitten. Ai. Itse kun tulee aina vaihdettua asentoon, niin menee ihan tatsiin. Ei jumalauta noi körpit oikeesti. Mitä? Mitä? Oikeesti? Miten? Tää muuten... Onks noin vaihtunut noi tallit muuten tässä? Tästä tuli uusi kausi. Peretsi tuo. Vittua Leclerc.
DRS is now enabled.
Oikeesti. Toimiiks nää striimit ne?
As he approaches Blanchimont now, still climbing uphill towards the bus stop chicane. We can see his former teammate Carlos Sainz going through that same corner where Lando just had a moment or two ago.
And there'd be icicles on the top of that curve, it was so high.
Lando Norris crosses the line and it's a time of a 1:57.2. With a 1:59.3 had already put in his first lap. George Russell goes quicker than the drivers through into Q2 for the TP the second time this season. The Sainz now crosses the line and he goes third fastest ahead of the TP, but behind Russell, who's looking very accomplished in these conditions in at Williams this afternoon. Gasly next across the line and goes second fastest, 7/10 off Norris.
Yeah, Norris is so in charge of that McLaren, even though he had a few adventures during that lap. But I think he realised his best chance through the last game was literally attack the curve and use it like a railway line.
The adventures of Lando Norris, it sounds like a comic strip we all want to read that one. Just under 10 minutes to go then. Dark clouds hovering over this Spa circuit. Better lap from Daniel Ricciardo, goes fourth fastest and ahead of Carlos Sainz, the man who replaced him.
Aikamoinen ohitus.
1.7 seconds slower than Norris. Got to pull something out of the bag here.
He got the best final sector of all, Daniel Ricciardo, so maybe getting his tyres up to a decent temperature by the end of the lap with Sebastian Vettel, three-time winner, of course, here at the Belgian Grand Prix, goes second fastest. Slower than 7. Since his last win here at Spa in 2018, he's only had the one victory, has Sebastian Vettel. Sorry, since his last win at Spa, he's only had the one win in 2018. But he'll be very pleased to see his time at the moment, 6/10 off Norris, and about half a second down on Max Verstappen.
Jack Lewis has already had a lock-up, isn't it, left front on these tyres. When it slows down, you can see a bit of a back ahead for Charles Leclerc. Has had an off the good measure down the hill towards Perelman, and sort of cracking a little bit of extra wing on, didn't he, in terms of going flat across the rear of the Mercedes to give it a bit more downforce.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
If you've got good tyres and you're absolutely in the right part of the racetrack, but then you start to get, as I said, a bit of an emulsion, just a little bit of water on the surface, and the harder you try, the slower you go. They're not quite into that phase
A new
yet.
strategy is available on the MFD.
Drier lines turning up in some of these corners, and that can soon overheat the intermediates.
You're increasing the gap to the car behind by a few seconds per lap. Keep this up.
The red flag necessitated a chassis change, went straight on at the end of the Kemmel straight this time rather than going into the barriers.
Confirmed.
Lewis then backing off on this lap.
Tää vittu 11 kiekalla varikollahan sitä paassa.
56.4, so you knew it wasn't a totally quick middle sector. Here was Lando on the curve I was talking about at the end of the lap. So 2 wheels up in the air, and nice job. Sometimes they come in, oh, and they had to go on the other one as well.
Is that the dry line on the top there? The water's drained off the sausage curve.
But you've got to hope the front wing can cope with that, the undertrain. And now Lewis is then setting about another lap.
I wonder, is sector 2 the middle part of the track where it's starting to rain a touch, because we're seeing some sector 2 times just a little bit off kilter at the moment. Such a big track, Spa, longest on the calendar. You often get drier parts of the circuit for longer because it takes an awful lot longer for the rain to move.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums.
It might be raining a little bit in that middle sector.
And that's with both Alpines and both Mercedes-Benz in the drop zone.
And with Lewis Hamilton down in 14th at the moment, if the rain is coming in, and it's coming in that middle sector, and he's in the elimination zone.
Rain is coming. Olisiko ollut ainakin sade, sit ois kova kisa.
And I wonder, Martin, that decision not to go on new intermediate tyres right at the start, could that cost Mercedes here? Because both Hamilton and Bottas are in the bottom 5.
Certainly put them out of position, didn't it? Out of sync with the rest of qualifying. But it's a solid 32.6 for Lewis first sector. But it's over 50 seconds the middle sector. That's the critical one. Speed can be carried through the just after this lap.
The gap to the car ahead is 4.0 seconds.
Of the bottom 5, his middle sector is a 54.5. So it is, I think it is wetter, it is more damp and probably raining in that middle sector if those times could Bottas match that time as well.
Yeah, but that's 1.7 seconds slower than Norris in the middle sector.
So he's not going to challenge Lando Norris. The thing for Mercedes here is have they got enough pace
Great
to
work.
get out
That's
of the
a new
elimination
fastest
zone.
lap of the
If
race.
the rain is coming in, these could be very crucial laps indeed. Hamilton goes 7th fastest, so job done for the time being. Valtteri Bottas, who needs to get into Q3, only 9th fastest. Don't forget Bottas will have a 5-place grid penalty along with Lance Stroll because of the chaos at turn 1 in Hungary and for causing a crash. Ocon can't get out of the elimination zone. He's down there with his Alpine teammate Fernando Alonso. Spray coming off the front wheels there of Daniel Ricciardo's McLaren as he tries to slow it down into the bus stop chicane. He's the driver right on the cusp at the moment, trying to get out of this bottom five and make his McLaren a Q3 candidate. Well, he goes fifth fastest.
Time, isn't it? The second shot of teammate. That's much more representative time for Daniel Ricciardo there. In the drop zone then, Stroll sights Latifi, Ocon, Alonso, and Alpine do not have the speed in these conditions.
5 minutes to go. Fernando Alonso stays the slowest driver out on the circuit. Carlos Sainz has just aced the first sector and gone fastest overall. The man most at risk at the moment, Valtteri Bottas, who in all previous 90 appearances
No niin, Bottas, hoida homma.
has always reached Q3. Even if he's crashed in Q3 and started 10th, he's always got there. And at the moment, he's back down in the elimination zone again because Stroll has just got 7 fastest. Verstappen takes over at the top where he has been for much of the weekend so far. But Valtteri Bottas is now looking to try and string together a fine lap. And he hasn't done it in the first sector on this latest lap. Perez goes third.
We're going to box this lap, push hard on the in-lap.
Working nicely, very nicely indeed. It's Bottas and Sainz then that are the surprise drivers in the elimination zone.
Crashed down in Q2 in Hungary did Carlos Sainz. Ferrari came into Spa last year and a bit of a horror of a weekend. Sebastian Vettel, for instance, only 14th on the grid, and at the moment Carlos Sainz only 12th.
Yeah, Sainz is on a much better lap.
Our gap to the car in front is 2.7 seconds.
He's got to get it into the apex. He does that.
Tää on kiva rata.
The other side of the curve, he has to get hold of it. Now he needs to find some grip, find some traction. This should get the job done for Sainz. He's up to 7.
And pushes his teammate Charles Leclerc back down into the bottom 5 once again as into the pit.
Oh, ja Intersi alkaa.
Lewis Hamilton for another change of tyres and his teammate Valtteri Bottas for another change of tyres.
That's their third set of their 4 intermediate tyres.
Because they're right on the cusp here and they know that, well, you've got to be in it to win it, and at the moment it's not guaranteed that they're going to be in Q3 with both cars. As it stands at the moment, Hamilton is, Bottas isn't, but they've got no comfort zone whatsoever.
And I think Leclerc is about to change that for Lewis Hamilton. So they'll have to get run fairly pronto in the Mercedes to make sure they've got time to get across and get that final flying lap in. But they're burning through their tyres properly.
It's still not raining at the top of the circuit by the main straight and on the run down towards Eau Rouge, but the middle sector does seem very tricky still. So
Go.
fastest, as you said, Martin. He is on a flyer and pushes Hamilton down into
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
2.5 minutes to go, and the shock of all shocks as Jackie X watches on from the back of the Ferrari garage. 6-time Le Mans winner, 8-time race winner in Formula 1, one of the great guys in Formula 1. We listened to Jackie X on stage a few years ago together, Martin. It was an utter wonder to hear him speak. Well, he's watching on thinking, right, what have you got? Hamilton and Bottas, and well done Sainz and Leclerc as the stewards have noted an incident between Sainz and Ocon at the bus stop chicane. Vettel starts his latest flying lap.
So now P11, so lead this lap.
Hammer time has arrived on Saturday.
So you're getting small slicks. When you're in the race now, you're starting to think about how much longer can we put some tyres on. It's changing very quickly. So with another fresh set of fresh intermediates, there's no doubt you'd expect 2 Mercedes now to steam through it. But
Check your MFD.
This might come back to haunt them at the end, maybe of Q3. And as you say, the race tomorrow is Sebastian Vettel hanging on to the tarmac round the outside of Rivage after an excellent first sector. He seemed to pick up a decent toe down the Kemmel Straights.
Yeah, there's the parting line, it was the wall of death. And that was it, right on the wall of death, wasn't it? But in fact, he kept some speed, he kept it, well, he kept pulling in the right direction, he kept it forward position.
And here he comes then, Sebastian Vettel. Who's been on pole here before, 2011, won from pole, knows all about this track, vastly
Hamilton tuolla.
Fresh after a summer break, disqualified from second place in Hungary and itching to get back to some more success.
Ja sillä on softit alla.
Of losing that podium down at the bottom of the track through Stavolo and Paul Frere. He turns the Aston Martin, puts his foot down, powers his way
Our
through
gap
blocks.
behind is 2.0 seconds.
53.2 middle sector as well as Bottas lights up first sector times. We haven't seen Hamilton through there yet, 32.4 actually as well. But yeah, Vettel then settling in nicely now.
Vettel crosses the line, goes second fastest overall. Bottas and Hamilton separated by a tenth of a second through the first sector and both setting decent times. We're on board with Hamilton through that no-name corner and down towards Pouon. Needs to get it right in this middle sector. It's not where you gain time necessarily, it's where you can lose time through this middle sector. Very tricky corners.
I'd expect them to go fast.
Tästä poditaan ihan vittu hitaasti.
Warm intermediates and the track the way it is. But that's not really the story, is it? But they should get through here. They're at risk of any yellows.
Aiden is in the pits. Aiden in the pits.
I wouldn't be expecting any driver errors from him. But Lewis and Valtteri should now comfortably get through.
Lance Stroll is the driver at risk. He was the first driver to take the checkered flag, so he can't improve on that 158.2 as Norris does improve.
Okay, gap ahead is 3.0 seconds.
Lance Stroll missed out, but he hasn't got a chance to get himself out of qualifying. His session's over and he's in Q2 as Carlos Sainz bails out at the end of his particular lap. Hamilton now crosses the line, goes second fastest. That'll do him nicely. But as Martin said, he has used up extra sets of tyres that he didn't really plan on doing. Gasly goes third fastest. Valtteri Bottas with a 5-place grid penalty hanging over him in this qualifying session.
Ai mitä Bottaksella on vittu penaltikin? Oi helvetti.
Ricardo and Sainz out.
Sainz and Ricardo 12th and 11th make that 13th and 12th as Esteban Ocon goes through into Q3 for the second race running. Esteban Ocon puts himself into the top 10. Charles Leclerc could just improve his position a little bit. He should be safe, crosses the line now, stays 10th, must have backed off.
So Russell through then at the moment, and Latifi out-qualifies Ricardo and Sainz. Ricardo gets one now over the line, look at that, just through. Wow, well done Daniel.
Esteban Ocon can still push his teammate though out of Q3 as he crosses the line now. It's only 14th for Fernando Alonso. He was the last driver on the track that could do something to upset Esteban Ocon. He's through by the skin of his teeth, but George Russell is through into Q3 for the second time this season. He's done it and is
No niin, Russell Q3. Kova, kova.
Between Sainz and Ocon after the session, George Russell qualifies for Q3. Lando Norris, as it was in Q1, finishes as the fastest. Mercedes had to use more tyres than they wanted, and we've lost Leclerc, Latifi, Sainz, Alonso and Stroll.
Sainz ja joku Oconi törmännyt. Täältä. Eikö oliko se vaan edessä hidasteli? Tää peli kyllä antaa aina just silleen nippanappa nää kuolit läpi. Onhan tähänkin nyt säädetty, että Verstappen ja Hamilton ajaa satana niin helvetisti kovempaa.
Let's talk about it later.
Jännä Twitch ei saa suljettua tota striimiä, mitä helvettiä. Joku vaan striimaa niinku formula-aikaa joutua.
Way too close now.
On muuten pikkasen helpompaa, kun ei mene jarrut lukkoon.
Gap to car in front is 5.9 seconds. We're starting to catch the car in front, but we need to look after the tyres. We won't be making another pit stop. Gap to teammate behind is 24.2 seconds.
Says Lewis Hamilton, because Mercedes put on a brand new set of intermediate tyres right at the end to lift their drivers out of the elimination zone. Ferrari, who came here and qualified 13th and 14th last year, could only make it 11th and 12th this year. Charles Leclerc saying, guys, we absolutely got that wrong. We need to investigate that after the session. And this, Martin, Lando Norris's lap that got him the fastest time.
Yeah, he's got a chance of pole position this afternoon, without any doubt. He's absolutely brilliant.
Mä haluan enemmän välivideoita eikä mitään tämmösiä kisoja.
Another new set of intermediate tyres. He was still quicker than Lewis Hamilton was in the Mercedes. Such is Norris's confidence and pace down into the foot of the hill of Eau Rouge, over the top of Radion, all within track limits. Stay right and then ease to the left. It's quite a long climb. The engine working overtime up there, but he's wandering to the right hand side. He wants to brake in a straight line from the off line where it's a bit grubby and maybe the tarmac's got a little bit more sharpness to it, and you can brake later that way. Nice and smooth, carrying lots of momentum, easy to lock up here, going downhill into Rivard. Takes a nice early line in.
Oh, mitä painaa? Herra jestas, vittu minkä näköinen peli.
You sweep through it, it's downhill, slightly off camber in places, but now you'll stay to the right-hand side. But who on? Let's listen to this.
Ei starttanut edes ottaa pois.
Just a downshift and then lots of confidence on the throttle. Just a little bit of dry area coming back into the racetrack. Fanya chicane again. The nose of that was such very obedient as he goes through there.
Ja siellä on trolli vähän vihainen.
Jockey the car through Stavro. But this time he's serene without any doubt. Flat out through the Paul Freire curve. Now you just take the line of least with the shortest route towards Longchamp, which is a really fast left-hand corner. They turn it into a straight. Just sound like a tiny little, maybe just dulling off with the lateral forces. Again, braking on the inside from a straight line, climbing over those curves, using them to pick up the front tyre, straighten the car and take the shortest route through line. Norris is right on top of the McLaren and the track.
And Lando Norris is going right out into
We have 5 laps of fuel remaining.
No, 30 sekkaa alkaa Q3.
The gap to the car ahead is 10.0 seconds.
Him and his team out on the track.
Oho, siellä vähän kiroilla.
So tricky in these conditions to get your tyre choices right, to have everything running smoothly, to allow the driver the best chance to go out and show what they can do on the circuit. And since qualifying 2 finished, the rain has started to fall more and more heavily.
Yeah, and we're back into full wet conditions. At the moment anyway. They handle it a little bit differently. They've got slightly different pressures and temperatures. It can affect the aerodynamics of the car because the sidewalls are all different, the tread pattern's different. Often some cars come alive, some cars get hurt a little bit by the full wet tyre. We're talking nuances here, we're talking small amounts, but now it's a completely new adventure. All bets are off. Yet another 5-minute change in the weather.
If we stay on the intermediates, Lando Norris
Vitsi, vähän haluu sudittaa, mutta on kyllä vaikea.
A candidate for pole to go one better than he did in Austria when he was on the front row. On the wet tyres, how did it still change that or not?
I don't know. I honestly don't know, but he's looked good, hasn't he? In all the conditions, has Lando. So I think he's still got a very good chance.
Tossa lähtee ihan samaa
We're for tyres at Mercedes here to fit the right set of tyres. They're going to go full wets.
It's only a 12-minute session. We're pressuring them. There's been a change. Everybody's changing at the last minute on their own. They're just changing the pressure. They keep to a minimum pressure.
Se on kyllä jännä. En tiedä mitä renkaat noi käyttää tuolla.
6 cars out on track. They'll be able to see some of the on-boards
Niin siellä sataa taas. Niin toikin on muuten paha, että saaks ne parannettu aikaa, se alkaa keli vaan huononee. Eikö eihän ne laske niitä aikoja tohon. Pitää äkkiä mennä radalle, jos haluaa, että se on vähän kuivempi, jos se alkaa sataakin.
10 minutes to go. We've lost 2 minutes of qualifying so far, and the conditions are getting worse.
Nyt voit olla ihmeellistä lähtöjärjestykset tohon.
Our gap to the car in front is 11.6 seconds.
And that's what they fear, aquaplaning, the standing water, where the drivers lose all grip and the potential to go off into the barriers. But until there's a red flag and a decision from race control, Lando Norris will have to stay out there. When will we see the others out on track? Everybody now in that top 10 has come out onto the circuit.
Yeah, you have to keep these wet. The minimum pressure
Suti.
22.5 psi front, 22 rear, the same as the 6, but often when you've got a
Norris.
lot of standing water, a little bit higher pressure opens the grooves up. Did that go round? Did the McLaren go round?
Yes, it did! Yes, it did!
Mitä?
Norris!
Norris saatana räjähti!
Lando Norris
Ei, ja red flag.
has had a big off, and you can see the tyre stranded, you can see the chassis revolving and turning around as everybody in that McLaren garage looks at the screens
Tuolla on kaikki tolleen.
and waits to see if their driver is okay. We have a red flag, and just moments after Lando Norris was saying it's getting very, very wet, we've got standing water.
It's getting
out
very,
here.
very wet.
He has a big off, and there is Sebastian Vettel in the Aston Martin, just making sure that he's okay. First driver on the scene. He too was worried about the conditions. Lando is moving.
Lando, are you okay? Are you okay? Yeah. Sorry, boys.
Shit, oli vähän hengästynyt.
Well,
a bit winded, and surprisingly, that'll be probably a pit lane start tomorrow. Hopefully he's not too bruised.
Mitä pit lane startti? Haistakaa nyt paskaa, eikä
of
oo.
the hill, unsurprisingly, isn't that little dish at the foot of the hill? And he's turned in. I just saw a few frames in my mind there. It just looked like it was not taking the right route through there.
We've seen so many accidents through there this weekend already in the W Series, and thankfully all 6 of those involved are well and have returned back to the racetrack today. Antoine Hubert, obviously, a couple of years ago, Juan Manuel Correa, obviously involved in that, and throughout the years, it's one of those corners as the fans cheer Lando Norris, and we're cheered to see him getting out of the car and into the medical car, and at least being able to walk away. But
the medical car
needs asking here, Martin Brundle. Sebastian Vettel said on the team radio it was getting too dangerous, it was too wet. Lando Norris said it. Why did that red flag not come out sooner?
There's a lot of standing water. He's now back in the line. Yeah,
I
see it. It just started to wander into an oversteer, and they had to correct it, and it was the correction that actually took him into the barriers.
Tää oli toi saatana sama, missä tää kuoli
Well,
Hubertti.
it was one driver's opinion.
Well, 2.
Yeah,
Undrivable.
says a bit of aquaplaning, but it didn't stop him going for it. But what it did, it just sort of moved into a bit of an oversteer, and as he corrected it, suddenly the front tyre bit, and he had a too much steering lock on at that moment, trying to correct the slide, and it just took a big left.
Oi vittu, hyvin pyörii.
This is your final lap of the race.
The energy dissipated over 200 metres. Well, it's the sudden stop that really hurts. And yeah, just saw it there, not really.
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
Direction as it went down the hill, and then it's because of the tethers.
Ne on jännä, ettei tullut red flagia aikaisemmin.
The tethers are there to stop the wheels flying up. We have lost 1 wheel, but the other 3 hold on to the car to protect the marshal.
Kyllähän se on nyt nähty, että tuo kun sataa vettä, niin siellä on vettä radalla.
To protect the spectators, that's what the tethers do. And also it stops the wheel coming back towards the driver for good measure. And of course, that is scrap value, isn't it, unfortunately?
Marcin Bukowski is with us from the Alpine pit wall, the executive director technical. Marcin, what was Esteban Ocon, your driver, saying about conditions as we see Sebastian Vettel just pulling over to make sure Lando Norris was okay? There's a replay, of course.
Okay,
What was
gap
Esteban
ahead is
Ocon saying, Marcin,
18.2
on the team radio?
seconds.
Well, lots of water, obviously standing water, and some drivers reported complaining. It wasn't Esteban's case, but I think it was Lando's case actually. We're glad he's okay. It was a pretty good crash. Yeah, definitely wet, with light conditions, and the edge of being between full wet and the track suitable for running. So it's been a restart now. There's still a lot of water, there's still some glass cushions. So definitely wet circumstances.
Absolutely. The red flag, we might be, well, the debris cleared away, it might take 10, 15 minutes or so. Do you believe that red flag could have been...
We're really happy with
well,
the
the red flag came out after the crash, but could that have been brought out a little bit sooner? Would you have been happy to see it brought out a bit sooner? What a race for Casper Ackermann! The naysayers wrong with an emphatic performance. You'll be delighted by that podium.
Well, we all know he can do it. It's just been a while since he has.
Norris red flag.
Some much-needed points for Alfa Romeo.
We know it's a tricky part of the track. It's a high-speed part of the track, and it's tricky in the dry. It's obviously even trickier in the wet.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone.
Director's discretion to answer your question across the, there are clearly times when the track is waterlogged. Sebastian's made his point.
The fans really seem to enjoy that.
Flag, slow down.
Just listening.
Get your delta positive. Norris in Eau Rouge had a big shunt. Lots of debris.
Yeah, well, what the f did I say? What did I say? Red flag. Yeah.
Red flag. Sebastian Vettel, we're just hearing a team radio at Marcin, where he's actually got quite animated and saying, what did I say? What did I say? It should have been a red flag. And getting quite het up
He's okay.
and quite
He's
emotional.
okay.
Copy that. Carry on.
Over the team radio.
Yeah, look, I'm not gonna, get into this debate too much because it's between, as I said, the drivers give feedback and race control make that decision. I'm glad that Lando's a...
Aika paha joo. Minkälainen lähtöjärjestys tulee? Jatkuuko Q3 vielä tässä? Siellä on vettä kuitenkin aika paljon. I still want to continue to prove myself and remain competitive out there. Tähän jäämässä eläkkeelle.
Well, my family is here today, my wife and my daughter, so I'm delighted I was able to have a good race for them. It means the world to have
paha kolari.
I think I would have been miserable tonight if I didn't.
It's unnecessary.
Wouldn't have been fun.
Is he okay?
So yeah, I'm really happy.
How is everything at Alfa Romeo? Are spirits high? Is the team happy?
He's okay. He's okay.
Copy that.
Ihan vitun paha. Ei ollut mitään.
Norris through Eau Rouge.
Se olisi käynyt ihan kelle vaan ketään se
before it happened, Martin.
Yeah, it wasn't really aquaplaning as such, but there's a lot of water, obviously. But it just started to wander into an oversteer. And unfortunately, it's that with the high speed, lots of downforce. Unfortunately, it's that moment when you've got some counter steer into it.
I'm not going to comment on that.
I think Lando would have been as surprised as we all were that it looked like he had it sort of under control, but it just kept sliding because the big standing water. There is a bit of a bump, isn't there? And they've had to put a new piece of tarmac across after the floods, and just the counter steer in, and then all of a sudden the front tyre is bit into the racetrack. And he's speared off left at high speed.
And now makes his way to the medical centre, as you can see on those pictures. And that is the wreckage of Lando Norris's McLaren. Fastest in Q1, fastest in Q2, and then a big accident at...
Hey man, great race today.
Thanks.
Nice one, Casper.
Mitä Butleri taas?
Can't argue with that performance.
Joo, Vetteli heti kovaa
Same
settiä.
teammate couldn't bring himself to congratulate you.
Yeah, well, he's just a kid.
Kid is getting signed by Ferrari.
So they say.
Never gonna happen.
No?
I'm getting signed.
You keep a secret?
Yeah, sure.
I've been approached.
Really? Yeah. Oh, congratulations.
Keep it under your hat, but talks are going well. So you're gonna have to get on with Jackson for a little while longer.
Yeah, well, we get on fine.
That's
I have a secret for you.
Yeah?
I was chatting with one of your mechanics. He had some very interesting things to say about Jackson. You know what his problem is, don't you?
Go on.
Thinks you're getting too old. Says you're not fast enough anymore.
Too old?
Hey, mate, his words, not mine. You want my advice? Prove him wrong. See, he should respect you like I do. Great race out there today, buddy. Yeah? Ciao.
Mikäs chapteri tässä on muuten menossa? Please be careful with those no comment answers, Kasper.
Hey.
Mitä vittu?
Hey, Lily's dancing in the garage. It's hilarious. Can you come?
Just catching up on a few things.
Okei, ehkä se ei ollut paras. Se olisi pitänyt sanoa, joo, kaikki on
I booked
hyvin.
us a restaurant for tonight.
What about Lily?
Your mother's happy to take care of her.
Great, then I can't wait.
Reason to celebrate, right?
Yeah. Thanks, Zoe. See you later.
Bye.
Itse mä en tiedä, mitenköhän mä nyt hoidan tän homman. Krista pääsee töistä kohta. Aiden soittaa,
Yeah.
what?
Casper, I missed you just now.
What do you want?
I just wanted to say congratulations for today. That was some race.
I'm busy, Aiden.
Oh, sure.
Bye.
Aika paha. Niin mitä, oisko huomenna Q3 se, jos sataa noin kovaa? Aika paha. Mun tässä vielä puoli tuntia aikaa pelaa. Kyllä mä voisin varmaan yhden vielä vetää. Chapter
whatever
Q.
it is, it's going to be slippery. They'll sweep a lot of it away, and the drivers might be advised to not take such a keen line across the inside curb at Radion. And that horrible waiting moment. You're sitting in the car, the seat feels just a little bit too tight at that moment. It's perfect when you're pulling 5G. A little bit tight. But generally speaking, you feel cozy inside there. You're watching what's going on, and you're trying to keep a calm head, ready to go out and deliver a hot lap without emulating Lando's shunt.
While we wait for the session to restart, let's hear from some of the drivers that have been knocked out in qualifying so far. 10 remains going into Q3, 10 already gone, 2 of which were driving a Ferrari, Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz, so we can hear from now with Craig Slater.
What are we doing here?
Well, Carlos, we're speaking, you've got a serious look on your face because you've seen what's happened to Lando. Tough conditions out there.
Yeah, very tough. Glad he's okay, obviously.
Niin, Q2 tuloksia kisaan. Niin. Olisi aika koominen.
Do you copy, Casper? Let Jackson pass, please.
I don't understand.
You can have the place back if you can't pull away.
Is he landing quicker?
Yeah. He's behind you, Casper. Confirm you'll let him pass, please.
No, he's not close enough.
Come on, Casper.
Mitä vittua, Kasperi? Mä pääsin saman tien ohi.
He's not faster.
This is a team order. Do you copy, Casper?
He's not faster.
Don't let Jackson past. Mitä vittua? Kiva tehtävä.
Gap to car in front is 3.1 seconds. There's 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Vois katoa aina taas paskoa.
Ahead, but be aware that these tyres need to last till the end of the race.
Mutta aika törkeet kans kun Norris vittu räjähti tolleen, niin ei ne voi mitenkään tänään jatkaa tota. Olisiko sit mukaan Q2 tuloksilla vaan suoraan? Noin botit ei osaa vetää. Jatkaaks ne oikeesti ilman Norrista? Ihan kauheeta. Varsinkin kun tommonen mihin sä et ite voi mitenkään vaikuttaa.
There's 3 laps of fuel remaining.
Tässä käy pahat körvit.
This is your final lap of the race.
Siipi vaan paskaksi. Ei osunut seinä. Tähän olisi hyvä vetää tolleen aina. Ei osunut taaskaan. Vittu mikä salettava.
So there's not a lot of time left for a wet Q3 in Spa.
That is coming down heavier now than it has at any stage during this qualifying session. You definitely would not send cars out in this whatsoever. Rain intensifying here whilst they sit on the pit walls. Take this moment, Martin, shall we, to have a little discussion about Radion. Mexico last season, the two drivers took each other out of the race completely. How long before we see a repeat of that? As you so rightly say, Ant, something's clearly not right over there.
No joo, vähän veikkaa, että ei tapahdu.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
There and service roads and what have you. There is.
Joo, Iisukki, moro moro. Mikä meno? Jumalauta, on paljon kommentteja tullut. Yhtäkkiä tullut 400 kommenttia. What was that?
Hey! Just leave it. No! Just talk to me for once! Just let go. Back off! Why do you have to be like this? Oh, so I'm the problem! You won't let me pass! You won't even talk to me! You want respect, you give respect! That's how it works! How about you give me a little respect? How about you earn it first? How am I supposed to do that? I'm all ears! You give me space out there. What's your problem? I'm trying to win. Oh, and that makes you special? You're a nightmare, Casper. Fine. Well, you won't have to put up with me for much longer. What's that supposed to mean? I am sick and tired of all this. I'm done. You what? I'm retiring. Wait. What? Casper! Casper!
Näytäis kuvaa. Näytäis kuvaa.
Wait. What? Casper!
Jackson first. Ja kaikki vihaa Aidenia. 2 weeks later. Ai vitsi, tää on hyvä. En kyllä jaksa ajaa sit koko kisaa enää.
Changed in that time. We've rather got used to Eau Rouge and Radion as they are, and you can see that unless you're, as they say, Martin, chopping down trees and moving back.
Inside scoop, Alfa Romeo situation. Getting there, Lewis. Voi olla myös mahdollista, että Q2-tulokset jää voimaan, jos Q3 ei ajeta. On varmasti joo. Mut mun mielestä toi on vitun törkeä. Tai ei silleen. Vois sekin olla hyvä. Pääseköhän Norris kisaan huomenna? Oli vähän shook upin näkönen. Shook upin näkönen. Yeah, I'm still in talks with your sponsors about the prospect of renewing. How they found about the reader. Joo, eikä siinä mun mielestä hirveä niinku kova tömähdys ollut, et vähän siinä aika saatanan kovaa mennään, mut rengas vali vaimets niin hyvin sitä ja sit se pääs pyöriin vapaasti, niin ei pitäis mitään ihan hirveet damakea olla. Austrian Grand Prix Mid Race. Poor start to the race finds blah blah blah. Oho, safety caria. Ackermani pääsee iskee. Kyllä spoileri toi teksti tossa. Tää on se levikaa nyt minkä mä vedän. Näin sit tekee vähän ruokaa. Junnoihin laittaa muuten pyykit saatana koneeseen. Tai mä laitoin koneeseen, mutta mun unohdin laittaa päälle se.
Work to maintain tyre temperature, Casper?
It's the safety car for Aiden.
Aiden's had to come in. Now's a good time to catch up with the field.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Miten mä oon ihan vikana? Aha. Oiskohan se, mennä mä kato kohta. Kyllä se on ollut se 12 aikaa, mutta katso mä vielä varmistan tosta aikataulut. Oho! Tästä mä oon kuullut pahaa tosta töyssystä.
Nice work, Casper. Push for 10th. See if you can salvage some points.
Yeah.
Return the position immediately or we will be penalised. There is no overtaking.
Hei, toiminut toi. Mukaan vähän cheattaa tässä, oho.
Give that position back. We are under safety car conditions and cannot overtake. Return the position.
Yhden pääsi ohi.
Return the position immediately or we will be penalised. There is no overtaking during the safety car period.
Ai saatana collisioni. Joo, Eepu, moro. Tässä nyt vähän, ai saakeli, vähän omaperäisempää settiä.
Give that position back. We are under safety car conditions and cannot overtake. Return the position.
Taas, ei jumalauta. Mitäs toi safety auto tuo tekee?
Yet. Could be here for a while.
Yeah. And apropos nothing, if we couldn't complete qualifying, Article 35.2 of the sporting regulations say that drivers not setting a time in Q3 will be arranged in the order in which they completed Q2, which will put Lando Norris on pole, albeit on pole nominally, because, as you say, Martin, there's a big rebuild and a potential change of chassis, which now they're in Parc Fermé will more than likely necessitate a pit lane start for tomorrow.
Let's catch up to the field a bit.
But if Lando Norris started in the pit lane, that would give Mercedes a front row lockout here for the second time in 2 years, with Hamilton and Bottas second and third, and that choice to go on to the intermediates right at the end of Q2 might have paid dividends, but not in the way they would have thought.
Having actually made a bit of a pig zero Q2,
we need to close to within 10 car lengths of the car ahead.
But that's only if we can't complete qualifying. If it doesn't get completed on this Saturday afternoon, there is time and there is precedent as well for qualifying to be completed on the Sunday. Here at Spa. We've had it before in Australia. One of our earlier races on Sky Sports F1, where we came back to complete Q3 on a Sunday morning. And we did the race as well in Japan, obviously a couple of years ago. By the way, what a shame that we're not going to Japan this season.
not only were we really looking forward to it, I'm sure you were looking forward to seeing the action from Suzuka as well. And Honda in their 50th race with Red Bull this weekend. I'm sure we're looking forward to saying goodbye to Formula One for a while at their home venue, and for once with a chance of winning at the home venue as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And who doesn't love Suzuka, especially when there are Formula One cars going around it.
If you ever get the chance one day to go to Suzuka, please do take that chance. It is quite the place to go, but we're not going to Suzuka now, and a 22 race calendar has now been confirmed by Liberty, by the commercial rights holder of Formula One. If you haven't been with us through the day here, this news was announced at about 11:30 UK time. We're here in Belgium. We go to Holland, to Zandvoort, again for the first time in a long while. Next weekend, after that, we go to Monza, to the Cathedral of Speed. Then we take a week's break, and then we're back with the Russian Grand Prix. After which there is another week's break. Turkey has moved back a week. After that, there's another week's break, and we go to Austin. And after that, we get a week off again, and then we go Mexico, Brazil, and a race that's to be confirmed, which could well be in Qatar, and another new venue for Formula One. Before we complete the season with a double-header in Jeddah for the Saudi Grand Prix a week before the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. 22 races, still a record-breaking season. And that is the calendar as it stands at the moment. Japan won't be replaced with a 23rd race. It's been so difficult to formulate the calendar. As you're all, I'm sure, very well aware, in the UK and throughout the world, these are difficult times, especially for international travel, and a very fluid situation. And they've managed to put a calendar together. As for next year, and we do get a lot of people saying, well, when's the calendar going to be announced for 2022? Absolutely no idea. And I would imagine
absolutely no idea.
Because sorting out 2021 was
Hyvänä puhui jo ensi kaudesta.
I mean, the logistics of all of this.
Onko tämä puolessa välissä? On se aika lailla.
Normally it's on the high seas, flip-flopping around the world. There's probably a chunk of freight on its way to Japan on a ship, but you know, to unravel all of that, all of the hotels, and I'm sorry for anybody at home who's booked for a Grand Prix and then suddenly it changes by a week or so, or gets cancelled altogether. The logistics of this, what have we had? We've had 28 races in 56 weekends or something like that.
Before the summer break,
in Formula One, and it's just, it's
Mitä vittu, joku ajellaan veneellä tuossa oikein, se on go-kart.
Is this a day for karting? This is the kart track at the Stavolo, at the bottom of the circuit.
It's the most fun ever.
Do you fancy a go?
I do actually, because they're probably still on slicks as well.
I don't know.
Minikarttia. Vene sama asia.
And that's just on the way out of the pits.
Yeah, that would be a right laugh.
He's got his hand up. That is Zach Brown, CEO of McLaren team, Principal Andreas Seidler, and that's Mark Berryman, Lando's manager, just behind them, I think heading off to the medical centre. Max Verstappen looking at the screens in the garage. If you're only just joining us, we should have finished qualifying. We still have to complete 9 minutes of Q3 after an accident involving Lando Norris at Radion. When the back ends of his McLaren got away from him, he headed towards the barriers, careered across the track, spun round several times as well. He's gone to the medical centre for checks, but managed to walk away from that accident. The session was immediately red flagged. Nobody has set a time as yet in this Q3 session.
It's not raining outside the combox momentarily, Crofty.
So we could go karting then?
Well, we might go qualifying actually, but yeah. I mean, it does drain very quickly here. They're used to, vast quantities of water, so.
But there's so much water around there, so much standing water. As I say, if you're just joining us, this is the reason the session has been stopped. Once Lando Norris knew that things had gone away from him a little bit, he knew he was heading to the barriers as well. Sebastian Vettel, first car on the scene to make sure he was okay, actually slowed down, stopped to see
the car behind
if he was okay after intimating on the team radio that the session should have been red flagged before that accident. The fact that he walked away from that testament, as we often say in Formula One, to the amazing developments and standards of safety for all those taking part. Sebastian Vettel, as I mentioned, just giving the speculative thumbs up to Lando Norris, who replied with a thumbs up back, and this was Michael Massey, the race director's reaction when he and the rest of his race control team saw what had happened. Lando able to walk away from the scene of the accident. Toto Wolff has gone out to the Mercedes pit wall to have a chat with his engineers, and whilst he's doing that, let's have a chat with Nicholas Latifi, shall we? For the second time this season, he got into Q2. Unlike his teammates, George Russell couldn't get through the Q3, but a while ago he spoke to Craig Slater.
Nicholas, while you're here, I might get your thoughts on this. One or two of the drivers, including Lando, were saying red flag before his own incident occurred. Conditions worsened pretty quickly.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
en osunut siihen. Ai okei. Mun mielestä meni ihan sit niinku läpi. Siinä on se yksi kohta, mistä ponnahtaa oikein kunnolla. Koetetaan ajaa seuraavaksi siihen.
Very high speed track, and when you get, I don't know if you aquaplaned or what happened, but it'd be quite dangerous. So obviously Lando's okay, he got out of the car fine. So yeah, it's obviously a very tricky session. I mean, above all else, result in qualifying at F1, but I'm just more happy that I got some experience running the wet. It's one thing I felt I've been lacking a lot of confidence with our car, is the wet driving. We only had really Austria last year in qualifying, and Turkey, which I wouldn't even consider wet driving, because that was something else with the tarmac there. This year, Imola, I didn't do any laps of the race, and yeah, I've just not felt comfortable whenever it's rained in our car, and this was a good moment for me to get comfortable, get laps, get experience. So yeah, quite happy in the end for the best result, and more so happy that I know there's still a lot to come from me with some little mistakes I made here and there on my final lap, and yeah, overall positive result.
Yeah, credit to you. You've got Alonso and Sainz behind you, which it must feel like a feather in the cap.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, it's more challenging for everybody, and again, you know, although both cars made it through, it's not that I say our car is better in the wet than it is in the dry. I mean, it's still Williams, and the other cars are still their respective cars. So it's just more things to let's say easier to get wrong from a driving point of view. As well, I think we were just a bit on I was the first one to set my final lap on a ever-improving track, which, you know, at a long track like this, such high-speed corners just gives massive confidence. So in the end, seeing how far I missed the Q3, I think we could have easily been there if we just maybe the timing a bit better lap from my side. So that as well brings confidence. But yeah, very happy still nonetheless.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
What a back-to-back races that would have been for Nicholas Latifi then after his first career points finish, 7th in Hungary last time out. He was a whisker away from his first Q3 appearance as well. Winner of the sprint race here in 2018, he's competing in F2. Nicholas Latifi, let's see how his car then copes in probably similar conditions to this tomorrow. Because rain and showers are forecast all weekend long here, both days so far. We've seen rain obviously today and tomorrow.
3.4 seconds.
Goes on another lap of the track to see if it is okay to get the cars back out there. We can head down to have a chat with Paul D'Aresta actually. Paul, whilst we watch Bernd Maylander going around the circuit, safety standards, as I mentioned a few moments ago, have really improved in recent years here in Formula One. And you know, Lando Norris walking away from that accident, incredible to see.
It is incredible. You know, these cars, you know, they move on year after year, and the safety's brought in. And when you sit inside them, I don't think you quite believe how safe they are, and to the point where if you sat in a historic car, say 5-10 years old, and even longer, you just don't feel the same level of support. You know, with what Martin said, when you step inside that car, you don't think twice about how you go about it. You only think about how fast you're going to go. And clearly Lando, the bit that's going to be going through his head, I think, is he should have entered with more caution. He should have not taken as many risks in the first lap. It's always too easy to say after the incident, but I guess it's a bit like, you know, it's a bit like a footballer going up for a header. That he sees a defender coming for him, and at the same point, is he going to stay with it? And of course he is, because that's what about it. That's really the skill set. Of course, it's a very different aspect when you get to a race and spray, and they probably would have thought very differently about a single lap. Of course, they have to test and see how it is. I think it was, like I said before, very much on the limit. But with Lando, I hope he's okay. I do hope he's okay, and I hope McLaren will give us that news very soon.
Paul, stay with us a minute, enjoying the conversation with Martin. As former Formula One drivers, in this sort of situation, the longer it continues before we get a decision on a resumption. Oh well, actually, we have got a resumption time now. In 3 minutes' time. Would you prefer to have come back tomorrow, or would you have been drivers Paul first, itching to get out on the track and get qualifying done today?
In my opinion, I think you're better to get it done today. I think it's the best way for everybody to move on, actually, after they've seen that as well. But you're all psyched up for it, you're in a nice warm car.
Mun mielestä ihan törkeä Norriseen saa ajaa.
I mean, I'm standing down, obviously, near the pit lane. It has been raining very hard, it stopped. And I would say it's almost at the point where the Williams went out on inters at the beginning of Q1 to where you need to be. That pushes it advantage Red Bull in my eyes at the moment, because they've got 2 sets of inters versus Mercedes on 1 set of inters. But of course, a lot of things in there with only 9 minutes to go, whether you could do 2 runs. I think it would probably be down to 1 set, and when you choose to do that lap time.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, there's more standing water than there was when we were released into Q2. So Inters would, I think, be an extremely brave move right now. We're in the sessions earlier on anyway. So definitely more standing water. So we cleared the track earlier than we did last time, I would say. But it looks drivable.
16.45 local time. Minuutti, mitä? Hyvä tuolla minuutin varoitusajalla.
It's that instinctive fine line that only those in the cockpit know, between being too careful and having to go faster in that pursuit of pole. It's not about being in the bottom 5 now, it's about the pursuit of pole.
Absolutely. It's also about keeping it on the racetrack, especially for the 2 main championship contenders. Can you clear enough water with the Inters? Can you, and then the land to sea ratio, I was talking about the rubber to groove ratio that we were talking about earlier on. This is a really tough call.
Today's race certainly had its ups and downs for you, Casper. Are you pleased with that performance?
Yeah, it wasn't easy today.
9 cars to get disperse the water instead of 20.
Well,
really happy to salvage.
We had the opportunity, and
the safety car gave me
could have had the opportunity to come back, complete qualifying. We're going to go and complete qualifying today. Esteban Ocon makes his way to the end of the pit lane, and I'm sure others will be joining him very, very quickly, as it's time to complete Q3. Green light is on. 9 minutes of qualifying to go.
Full wets for Ocon. But we know that the Alpine has been struggling a bit in these conditions. They obviously don't load the tyre. Maybe it pays dividends on the longer runs on a hot, dry day. But he's elected, and there's definitely a lot more water, isn't there?
Saatana, kato. Siinä katsottiin aika tarkkaan, että meneekö Oconin kanssa.
Would you say he's going through a bit of a rough patch?
Well, people have been giving him a bit of a hard time lately.
Ocon then, Rossi's got a chance here, at least to, I think if he can get sort of 8th or 9th on the grid, he's got a very good chance of now. There'll be a result for how the Alpine in these conditions.
George Russell is out on the track as well. You saw Lewis Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas making their way out of the pit lane. So we have 4 cars on track of the 9 still running here in Spa on this Saturday afternoon. The 2 Red Bulls of Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez now coming out.
Inters then for Mercedes and Red Bull. They think they can clear that water. This is right on the edge of Inters.
Still a lot of spray.
Lewis, I'll talk to you in this turn. If you're uncomfortable, come straight back in. We can quit next.
And that's what Marcin Bukowski was saying earlier. Leave decisions in the hands of the drivers. The drivers know best out there, and that's James Fowles, the strategy engineer, saying, look, entirely up to you. If you're not comfortable, do come back in.
Yeah, it's a suck it and see really for the drivers, but that looks extremely marginal for intermediate tyres.
Cass, are you busy?
Well, actually,
Look, I need you to come to the office. Can you pop by now?
Why? What's going on?
Nothing. Nothing. I'll tell you all about it when you get here.
No, tätä uutta diiliä.
Thanks so much, Casper. Really appreciate it.
No taas ole jotain uutta diiliä tälle. Hei nyt vittu meidän menu. Meitsi lopettaa striimin nyt. Jutellaan tuo Discordista taas.
Forecast.
Aika jos
tulee. It's going to evolve.
Yeah, gotta stick with it there. Gotta stick with it and be there at the end. Well, this is going to be some kind of jumbled up grid in the top 10, top 9.
Alpine no, with Esteban Ocon. If the rest are on intermediates, then they probably need to put those inters on as well. And the good thing is that even with only 9 cars out there, at least some of the water is going to get dissipated. But look at the rooster tails through Blanchimont. You would not want to be behind too closely Lewis Hamilton at the moment.
Oh, it's extraordinary that the inters are coping with that. But it'll get better and better now. So they no doubt be fueled.
So we reckon we should stick to the plan.
He knows, he understands that leave me to it. I'm going to go off and try and do it. So into La Source we go with Lewis Hamilton. Plenty of lines you can take round La Source, and whatever one is the fastest, I'm sure these drivers will find it. Eau Rouge and towards Radion we go. You see the spray before you see the car.
That's an extraordinary shot. The energy over there. So keep it on the road, stick with it. The track will come to you, the tyres will come to you, and make sure you're one of the last over the line if you can, and get the lap in.
Well, they'll know the times that these cars are likely to be doing as Hamilton gets a bit squirrely through Malmedy. They'll know how many laps they can project by putting their cars out on the track at the times that they have. As it stands at the moment, Hamilton 0.3 quicker through the first sector than his teammate Valtteri Bottas and Sebastian Vettel in the Aston Martin. To remind you, Bottas with a 5-place grid penalty after the accident in Hungary at turn 1.
Oh, Hamilton really had to collect it up on the way into Pouhon corner. He had to get out of the throttle and scoop the car up.
And Verstappen in the first sector, 0.3 up on Hamilton. Sergio Perez, a 34.5, 0.8 down on his teammate through that first sector alone. As we carry on then with Lewis Hamilton, you can see Max Verstappen through the no-name corner. He's round about 4 corners behind Hamilton on the track.
So if they're surviving this, they're surviving the worst of it. It should now start to come to them.
56.1 for Hamilton through the middle sector. He was 0.8 quicker than his teammate Valtteri Bottas through that middle sector. Bus stop chicane, where we've seen him lock up and use cadence braking to slide his way into that corner before. That looked an awful lot less lock up that time around. Hamilton crosses the line, 2:01.5. Now there's a time for the rest to aim for. And in the first 2 sectors of this lap, Valtteri Bottas has not looked like aiming anywhere near what Hamilton can produce. He crosses the line in the 2-minute and 3. So attention now turns to Sebastian Vettel, George Russell and Max Verstappen, who are next to come along the main straights. And Vettel with a 2:03.3 can't beat Valtteri Bottas. Times are going to change, they're going to get faster. Early advantage though, is it Hamilton, Verstappen, Verstappen, Hamilton? It's Hamilton, Verstappen by quite some margin. And it's through that middle sector. Hamilton was 0.8 quicker than Verstappen.
I think Red Bull will be quite shocked at that. Because you have to say, on the Inters, Verstappen has been, Lewis then backing off. Why is he doing that? Is he just cooling it all down a little bit, biding his time? He's got to have enough fuel to the end. They will have fueled him to the end, so this won't be a hot lap for him, obviously.
No.
And then he'll get one more then. He'll get one more lap after this, because he'll...
Absolutely, that is their plan.
He'll,
fast lap, cool down lap, fast lap. It's like he's got slick tyres on in a practice session.
Yeah.
Previous polls here, Rosberg in 2016, then Hamilton 17, 18, and last year as well with Leclerc in between.
Need to charge batteries up, of course, don't they? Need to prepare the battery for the quali lap, is what this lap's about.
Well, if Lewis is having to charge up the batteries, then Max Verstappen will have to charge up the batteries as well, and that's Sergio Perez, his teammate, on a charge rather than charging as he makes his way past him down towards Rivage. So normally they do a fast lap, come into the garage, change tyres, and then get sent out again, and you can charge the cars up in the garage. Can't do that, of course, when they're out on the track constantly.
2 to go, so who will get across the line to start another lap? Ricciardo should. Ocon might. But the rest of them, Ricciardo might be the last man over the line.
His last lap, Esteban Ocon, was a 2:05 in terms of flying laps. He could be struggling a touch. Perez passed Verstappen again. He's on a flyer at the moment.
So this would be this could be Perez's only lap, couldn't it? If he's got to do a battery charge.
This will be Perez's.
If he's pumping out the battery in the quali mode.
And unless they've got a way of harvesting enough energy on a flying lap, then yes, it could well be. So let's see where Sergio Perez, who's currently 6th fastest, ends up overall. He's behind Pierre Gasly. Perez goes 2nd fastest still. The Red Bull half a second down on the Mercedes of Hamilton, who has started what will be his final flying lap of qualifying and provisionally holds pole position as it stands. 101 poles in Formula 1 for Lewis Hamilton. He's got 6 in the past here at Spa, and once again, the Belgian Grand Prix, he is the man to catch. We're down to the last 40 seconds. Right, who's going to get this as George Russell now sets the fastest first sector.
Supreme skills and bravery going on out here. These are sketchy conditions on those tyres. Wow, I'm massively impressed with this.
Now, hang on a minute. George Russell, half a second quicker than Lewis Hamilton through the first sector. Have Williams put on and found a new set of tyres, maybe, new set of intermediates that he can go out on and do a out lap and then a flying push lap right at the end? Is George Russell potentially going to be the star of qualifying here as Esteban Ocon goes 7th fastest for the Alpine?
Verstappen 2/10 up on Hamilton in the first sector, way quicker than Bottas.
Bottas a 34.2 in that first sector as well, 33.5s for Vettel and for Gasly as we watch Lewis Hamilton and George Russell. It's a 55.0 in the middle sector for George Russell. That is a very fine middle sector in these conditions. George Russell could be on for pole position here in Spa for the first of his career in a Williams, and I'm not lying about that one in the slightest, although Lewis Hamilton on Russell in the middle sector. Just get it through the bus stop chicane, George. Try and straight line it, get to the line, and we'll see what happens after that. Across the line goes George Russell. It's provisional pole for the Williams and George Russell. Now, Lewis Hamilton will be next to cross the line to try and catch it. Hamilton's at 101 poles. He can't deny George Russell here in Spa. Russell is still on provisional pole. Perez can't deny him. Verstappen has had an excellent middle sector.
Verstappen's going fast enough to just sneak ahead of Russell. What a lap from George Russell. But Verstappen's still got to make it through the final 2 apexes. He's done that nicely.
Bottas 5. Bottas 10.
Quickly. Is it going to come up quickly enough for pole?
No!
It is Red Bull on pole. You can hear the Dutch fans cheer that one. But they'll be celebrating in the Red Bull garage and at the other end of the pit lane down at Williams as well. Because it's a front row for George Russell in Spa. It's pole for Max Verstappen. Hamilton is only 3rd on the grid ahead of Sebastian Vettel, Pierre Gasly, Sergio Perez, and then it will be Ocon, Ricciardo and Norris as Bottas will take a 5-place penalty.
Yeah, Ricciardo goes P4 then with that lap. He was still finishing the lap. And who else is out there on a lap? Ocon to an extent. So Daniel Ricciardo will be very, very satisfied to navigate this afternoon and finish P4 at the moment. But what a lap from George Russell. He just kept pumping in the times. It took everything Verstappen and Red Bull have got to beat him.
Williams, who went out on the intermediate tyres right at the start of Q1 and surprised everyone by doing it. Did they play the masterstroke by keeping a fresh set right for the end here and put them on right at the end to get the best grip, the best temperature in the best of the conditions? George Russell can celebrate, and a magnificent achievement
the Williams team can celebrate a magnificent achievement. That is an outstanding end to a very long qualifying session. In the championship battle, Verstappen ahead of Hamilton. Well, in the battle to win everyone's racing hearts this weekend, Russell and Williams might have done that.
Absolutely. Get the job, Toto.
Looks very